Hello, welcome to the extracurricular class of Foundations of Psychology. In the previous content, I shared with you a large amount of psychological experiments and cases to illustrate how genes are largely responsible for our behavior and psychology. However, if genes were the only driving force, human civilization would not have achieved such dazzling achievements today. Today, I want to share with you what other forces, besides genes, are driving the evolution of human society. Through this topic, I hope to show you what social values are worth pursuing. Altruistic behavior in the animal world. I have previously mentioned the concept that genes are selfish. But interestingly, we observe many seemingly selfless behaviors in the animal world. For example, when a wolf approaches a quail's chick, the quail will pretend to have a broken wing and hobble away from its hiding place. This will cause the wolf to give up chasing the chick and instead hunt the quail. Once the quail has led the wolf to a safe distance from its chick, it will fly away. This strategy is very effective, but not always successful. The consequence of failure is that the quail itself is eaten by the wolf. Another example is when a groundhog discovers a predator eagle. It will not quietly run back to its safe burrow. Instead, it will stand up and scream loudly to alert other groundhogs. This behavior will attract the eagle's special attention, but it will also provide valuable escape opportunities for other groundhogs. In the world of bees, worker bees will devote their entire lives to building hives and raising the queen's offspring, without producing their own offspring or establishing their own families. Sociologist Wilson calls such behavior altruistic behavior, which is behavior that benefits others but has no obvious benefit to oneself, and is consciously voluntary. The altruistic behavior exhibited by these animals makes us humans pale in comparison and feel ashamed. In our daily lives, donating a little money to earthquake victims or sacrificing some time to care for the elderly is not an easy task, let alone sacrificing our own lives. So how do animals do it? Can they break free from the drive and constraints of genes? Kin selection, for better gene transmission. In the view of evolutionary biologist Hamilton, we are actually deceived by the superficial appearance of animal behavior. He proposed that the altruistic behavior of animals is only for better gene transmission and is completely selfish. For example, the quail mother uses the bait to allow her offspring to survive and reproduce more offspring. And the groundhog will only alert other groundhogs with blood ties. If the surrounding groundhogs come from another family, the groundhog that sees the eagle will quietly return to its burrow. For worker bees, their genes are actually more similar to the queen's offspring than to their own offspring. Hamilton proposed a theory called kin selection theory. That is, the closer the kinship, the stronger the tendency for animals to cooperate and exhibit altruistic behavior towards each other. The farther the kinship, the weaker the behavior. He also gave a mathematical formula to determine whether animals would exhibit altruistic behavior. As long as there is a blood relationship between two individuals, they will have some common genes to some extent. For example, parents and children have 50% of their genes in common. Grandparents and grandchildren have only 25% of their genes in common. If an animal exchanges its own death for the survival of 2 or more offspring, or the survival of 4 or more grandchildren, the genetic loss caused by its death will be completely compensated. So when will animals exhibit altruistic behavior? It is when the genetic benefits of the group outweigh the genetic losses of the individual. You may ask, does this theory also apply to humans? Parents leaving their life's wealth to their children instead of donating it to society or others, is it also for gene transmission? Even sociologists believe that even when we help strangers, it is for self-reward or to alleviate self-blame and guilt, not truly pure altruistic behavior.